Hey guys, Sinister here at Bad Company Gaming, and I bet you're wondering why I'm playing Battlefield 3. Battlefield Hardline has been confirmed on the Battlefield Facebook page, the official Battlefield Facebook page, and I wasn't going to post anything about the rumors and the gadgets and the everything else that everyone else has already uploaded until it had been confirmed by an official source, and that is one. So now I can officially tell you that Battlefield Hardline is supposed to be coming out this fall. It's going to be unveiled at E3, according to the Facebook post as well. So this should be something to look forward to, actually. Whenever I first heard about it, I was like, oh dear gosh. They're just trying to make money now. They've completely forgotten why we liked Battlefield 3, and they're just going to go for the money making simply like Activision. No. Because the more I think about this, we knew that Visceral Games had been doing something with EA. We didn't know what. We knew that they'd been doing something with EA before Battlefield 4 ever even launched. Which means that Visceral Games has been pretty much with the Battlefield 4 project almost the entire time. So, that means that Battlefield Hardline probably has more development time into it than Battlefield 4 does. And the reason that this is even slightly confusing is because Battlefield Hardline is supposed to be smaller maps, infantry-based combat, sort of like Battlefield 3's Santa Crossing, Operation Metro, things of that nature, which were phenomenal. I cannot wait for that sort of style of gameplay again, especially if there's going to be something even close to Rush game mode in it, because Rush on those maps in Battlefield 3, it was honestly my favorite game mode in Battlefield 3 and in Bad Company 2 for that matter. So why hasn't Battlefield had an in-between title like this? Well, it sort of has. It's had Medal of Honor in 2010 and then 2012 in between Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. But it just wasn't any good, to be just to be straightforward honest with you. Medal of Honor 2010 wasn't too bad, but it wasn't anything special either. It was very monotonous after you played it for a couple hours, and sort of the same with Medal of Honor Warfighter, assuming that you weren't just totally murdered by the bugs in that game. With that said, Visceral Games has had background building Call of Duty games, which means that they know how to get something to flow as far as level design and things of that nature as well. So, is Battlefield basically just becoming a Call of Duty and a half, with vehicles basically being the only difference? No, not even close. There's always sort of been a Battlefield Hardline within every other Battlefield game, at least in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. My examples are Domination Game Mode, Deathmatch Game Mode, you know, the smaller based game modes, but you have the infantry maps like Siege of Shanghai, Operation Metro, Gulf of Oman, Dawnbreaker, the things within those maps seem to sort of replicate how I imagine Battlefield Hardline is going to be. I'm thinking of a very Santa Crossing themed DLC, or basically just a big DLC, as I'm assuming all it's going to be. Maybe different customization, maybe different gun mechanics. I wouldn't bet on that just because Battlefield 4s are already pretty good, but that also means that the netcode for Battlefield 4 hopefully will have been somewhat worked out. Now, a couple of you guys have sent me questions saying, do I think that the old gen consoles, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, are going to be able to handle the increased tick rate? No, they're not going to be able to handle a constant 30 Hz tick rate on every basis. But someone pointed out to me, I cannot remember the name of them right now, I'm so sorry, but it's been a long day so far. But that the gun mechanics were going to be on a 30 Hz tick rate, but the environment and things of that nature were going to still be on 10 Hz, which would work. And I was thinking about this, tanks and jets and helicopters, well, helicopters for the Stinger missiles, but other than that, just cannon versus cannon, LAVs, RPGs, things of that nature, the netcode really hasn't been that much of an issue, nor the tick rate. It's mainly just the infantry combat that we need to focus on with this tick rate. So with that said, I wouldn't keep my breath held for that. I would say shoot for maybe closer to a 15 or 20 tick rate on the old consoles, but I do think that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One will be taking advantage of a full 30Hz tick rate, probably on the destruction and the gunplay and everything in between, just because of how powerful these consoles are compared to the older ones. Also, I was asked in the channel discussion page what the specs were on my PC. Alright, so I want to let it be known that I play on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 whenever I'm playing Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2, you know, stuff like that. I'm on PlayStation 4. I post-render my gameplay to 4K using Final Cut Pro. And, yeah, that's all that is. So, no more questions about my PC. I'm getting tired of seeing that in my inbox. But yeah, Battlefield Hardline should be very Battlefield 3 style, which is the best news that I've heard today. I can tell you that Battlefield 3, in my opinion, is 8 times the game that Battlefield 4 is. The only difference is that I have Battlefield 3 on the PlayStation 3, so the graphics and frame rate are very, very annoying, something that you can't really tell much detail on YouTube because it already shows you 30 frame per second video on YouTube just because it's Google. Actually, it's always been that way. It's not just because Google, but since Google bought out YouTube, I can blame it on them. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this sort of Battlefield news update talking about Battlefield Hardline and how I think it is a wonderful thing that it should be basically a Battlefield 3.5 in between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 5 Bad Company 3, whatever the next title is after that. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Go ahead and mash the like button if you have, and I hope to see all of you out on the battlefield.